Pain. It is the universe's biggest jerk. It's the uninvited guest that shows up at the party in your body, turns off the music, and tells a long, boring story about your impending doom. It is the reason we have a word for ouch. From the soul-leaving agony of stepping on a Lego in the dark to the high-pitched betrayal of a paper cut, pain is our common, universal enemy. You look at a child, laughing and running in a field, the picture of perfect, joyful existence. And then you see someone wincing, clutching their head, their face a mask of agony. It's a cruel contrast. So what if I told you that without the cruel, agonizing villain in that second picture, the joyful child in the first one wouldn't survive to see their next birthday? What if pain, the thing we spend billions of dollars every year to numb, erase and escape from, is the single most important experience keeping you alive? Is pain a biological design flaw? A cruel joke played on us by evolution? Or is it our most loyal, most misunderstood, and most important guardian? Let's be honest, when you're in the middle of it, guardian is the last word you'd use. Pain is a torturer. It's a malevolent artist that gets a hold of your nervous system and decides to paint a masterpiece using only colors like searing, throbbing, and why is this happening to me? It's a DJ that gets into your skull, kicks out your regular thoughts, and puts on a single, screaming track on repeat. It's a bully that holds your attention hostage, making it impossible to think about anything else. And it comes in so many wonderful flavors. There's the sharp, electric shock sting of a paper cut. How can a wound so tiny, so insignificant, unleash a level of fury so disproportionate to its size? It's a violation of the laws of physics. Then there's the deep, pulsing, oppressive throb of a migraine. This is where pain decides to become an interior decorator, and its chosen theme is a drum circle inside a collapsing building. Your own skull becomes a prison, and the pain is rattling the bars from the inside. Let's not forget the searing personal betrayal of biting your own tongue, your own teeth. The one part of your body designed for chewing things decides to chew you. It's a shocking act of self-sabotage that comes with instant, watery-eyed regret. But the king of them all, the pain that transcends the physical and touches the soul, is the 2 a.m. barefoot encounter with a Lego brick. It's a pain so sharp, so sudden, so architecturally perfect in its delivery that for a split second, you question all of your life choices. Pain is like a pop-up ad from hell that you can't close. It's your body's version of Clippy, the old Microsoft paperclip, cheerfully appearing to say, "Hi, it looks like you're trying to simply exist. Would you like me to set you on fire instead?" It's a universal enemy. There's no upside. It's just suffering, right? Well, what if a life without any pain at all isn't a superpower, but a terrifying curse? Before we get to that, we have to acknowledge that sometimes the pain monster goes rogue. Usually, pain is a messenger. It runs in, screams its message, and leaves. This is acute pain. But sometimes the messenger decides to move in, redecorate, and never, ever leave. This is chronic pain. Chronic pain is where the system breaks. It's the fire alarm that continues to shriek long after the fire has been put out. The signal itself becomes the disease. Acute pain is a doorbell. It rings, you answer it, you deal with the visitor. Chronic pain is when the doorbell gets stuck and it just rings and rings and rings for months, for years, with no one there. And you can't find the fuse box to turn it off. This is where pain earns its reputation as a villain. Conditions like fibromyalgia, where the entire body becomes a landscape of unexplained pain, or even more bizarrely, phantom limb pain, where a person can feel agonizing pain in a limb that isn't even there anymore. It proves the pain is not in our bodies. It is an experience created by our brain. And when that creator goes haywire, it can be a prison. Chronic pain is a thief. It steals sleep, it steals joy, it steals focus, it steals relationships, and it steals hope. It is the system failing in the most cruel way imaginable. So pain can be a monster that goes rogue. No question, but to understand why this flawed, dangerous system exists at all, we have to look at the terrifying alternative. We have to meet the people who won the genetic lottery we all think we want. There is a rare, real-life condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP. People born with it cannot feel physical pain at all. On the surface, it sounds like a superpower. You could break a bone and just shrug it off. You could be a real-life superhero, but the reality is a nightmare. For children born with CIP, life is a minefield they can't see. As babies, they might chew off the tip of their own tongue while teething, because there's no pain signal telling them to stop. They can scratch their corneas or break a bone in a simple fall and have no idea anything is wrong. They keep running, they keep playing, making the injury catastrophically worse because they lack the one thing that would force them to stop and heal. Hospitals have documented cases of children with CIP suffering from things like a ruptured appendix, a life-threatening emergency, and the only reason their parents knew something was wrong was because the child seemed a little off. There was no crying, no screaming, just a deadly infection raging inside a silent body. A life without pain is a life without the body's most fundamental warning system. Pain is your body's 24/7, eternally vigilant security guard. It's the grizzled, overworked, coffee-addicted detective inside you that never sleeps and notices everything. It's the one yelling, "Hey genius, that pan is still hot from the oven." It's the one that makes you limp when you sprain an ankle, forcing you to rest it so it can heal. It's the one that tells you that third slice of pizza might be a declaration of war on your digestive system. Without that tireless guardian, we would accidentally wander through life, blissfully unaware as we slowly destroyed ourselves. We wouldn't be superheroes. We would be fragile dolls, falling apart without realizing it. But pain is even more than just a guardian. It's not just a simple alarm bell. It is one of the most sophisticated and important teachers you will ever have. Pain is how you learn your own physical limits. It's an aggressive but very effective educator. Think about it. A toddler touches a hot radiator once. A kid learns how to hold a pair of scissors, how to run without tripping, how far their body can stretch, all through the constant, subtle feedback of discomfort and pain. Pain builds the invisible fences that keep us safe. It is constantly calibrating our internal map of a physically dangerous world. And here's where it gets even weirder. In our brains, the wiring for pain and pleasure are tangled together in the most fascinating ways. Why do millions of people love eating spicy food? The active ingredient, capsaicin, doesn't have a flavor. It is literally a chemical that tricks the pain receptors in your mouth, the ones designed to detect burning heat, into firing. You are intentionally causing yourself a mild form of pain, and your brain responds by releasing a rush of endorphins and dopamine, which feels like pleasure. You are hacking your own threat response system for fun. The same thing happens with intense exercise. The runner's high is a real neurological event. You push your body to the point of pain and exhaustion, and your brain, in an effort to cope, floods your system with natural opioids called endorphins, producing a state of euphoria. We are a species that has learned to find profound pleasure by carefully and consensually dancing with pain. This tells us that pain isn't just a stop sign. It's a fundamental part of the human experience, so deeply wired into our brains that it's connected to how we learn, how we grow, and even how we feel joy. And this applies to emotional pain, too. Scientists have found that the feeling of social rejection or heartbreak activates the exact same regions in the brain as physical pain. It hurts because our brain is using its most powerful and ancient alarm system to tell us that something we value, our social connections, our place in the tribe, is under threat. So, is pain a torturer or a guardian? The paradox is that it has to be a torturer in order to be a guardian. We are biologically hardwired to avoid the very sensation that makes our survival possible. We despise the messenger, but the message is life itself. A life without pain wouldn't be a paradise of constant pleasure. It would be a numb, short, and profoundly dangerous existence. In our modern world, we are on a quest to eliminate all discomfort. We want a life free from pain, both physical and emotional, but maybe that's a dangerous goal. By trying to mute every unpleasant signal, we risk ignoring the vital information that signal contains. We risk becoming like the child with CIP, unaware of our own injuries, unable to learn from our mistakes, and disconnected from the very feedback that's meant to keep us whole. Pain isn't a torturer. It's more like a language. It's the only way your body can have a direct conversation with your conscious brain. It can whisper about a mild strain. It can speak clearly about a bad idea. And yes, sometimes it has to scream when you are in real danger. We spend most of our lives trying to shut it up, but learning how to listen to it is the only way to truly understand what it means to be alive and in one piece. What's a painful experience you had, physical or emotional, that ended up teaching you a really important lesson? Share your story in the comments below. And if this video made you feel slightly more grateful for your body's insane alarm system, be sure to subscribe to the Weirdly Brilliant channel for more paradoxes that explain your world.